Good morning, my beautiful people. Another day, another dollar.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode. We're finally doing it of the hashtag Guy Thoughts podcast.
Yup.
There's four of us. We got, of course, Ricky. We have me, Wesley. We have Luke Hostetter. We have Victor Navarro all in the house. Well, not in the house. We're in different houses, but it's all good because we were assumed to do it. You know what I'm saying?
We together in spirit.
We're together in spirit.
Together in spirit.
Facts.
Yes.
So, this is going to be a
Not
podcast where we're just going to talk about things that are on our minds, specifically centered around guys, and how we perceive the world and issues relating to the male species. I wanted to start off with a simple introductory question. Today's episode is just going to be simple introductions, getting to know us, getting to know how this podcast is going to work. But my question for each of you, starting with Ricky. First, what school do you go to? Second, how old are you? Probably how old are you first, then what school do you go to? And then, which is better, Xbox or PS4, or what is better? I knew you were gonna. I knew we talked about this before, Luke, but I actually thought that question before.
Are we doing PS5 versus Xbox Series X? Or
No, we're talking about current. Like, what is the best current console out? It could be from any generation. What is the
I
best
thought we were gonna
console?
wait for another episode to do a debate, bro.
No, but this
Alright.
is just a question.
It's a simple
We don't
debate.
have a debate.
So, Ricky, what answer those questions?
All right, so I'm 18 years old. I go to Kenyatta College, community college.
Gonna be
here in
fair.
Vietnam. And then to answer your question about the debate between Xbox and PS4, if I'm gonna put my input in it, I definitely think this is how it goes. I think the PS3 is worse than the Xbox 360, but the Xbox One is worse than the PS4. That's facts.
That is something I would agree with, and that's because I actually have both. So, I'll go next. My name is Wesley Andrew. I'm also 18. I go to Foothill College, which you're gonna see is like a common theme. I also believe that I'm pretty much agree with Ricky. The PS2 is better than the original. Actually, that's hard. Those were legendary. PS3 is worse than Xbox 360, but absolutely, PS4 is better than Xbox One. Even though Xbox One has Halo, and I'm a huge Halo fan. But anyway, on to the next.
Okay. My name is Victor. You already know. I'm also 18 years old. I do go to Foothill College, which is better than Kenyatta College. And I have neither console. Like I've played like Xbox and PS4 before, like at other people's houses.
You could say something outside of those two.
Like I had the Wii for like a few years growing up. Like I think in like middle school. And then my brother got donated a PS3 like a couple years ago, but only he used it. I've like never used it before. I'm gonna just say Xbox is better because you guys already said PS4 is better.
So. Yeah, I can go next. I would say.
What are the first two?
Obviously, yeah. Hold on, what's that? Yeah, my brain went straight to the debate. I was like, I have a point. One, I'm 18 years old. Two, I go to Foothill, which yes, I agree with Victor, is better than Kenyatta by like every margin, but that's okay. Because you know we gotta support our friends even when they make mistakes and go to the wrong school. And then I think. Third one, personally, as a kid, like growing up, I think Xbox 360 is definitely better than PS3. I think that Xbox One, when I was a kid, seemed better to me just because of it had the Microsoft brand name and like it had like the like well-knownness of it, I guess, to me.
Yeah.
But I do think like after like in the surround, like I've seen enough of the PS4 and like seen the stats and like the stuff that I like looking at where I am willing to acknowledge, like definitely from a hardware, a launch, the exclusives that they had at launch, especially that like 100% were better.
Love how it's just a simple question and just
you know
about it, but it's
know that I go on tangents, Ricky. You know that I'm like degenerated, but yes.
Anyway, so again, like I said, it's going to be an introductory episode. So we have two questions to try to kind of get to know us a little bit. before we get into later episodes where we're going to debate things, we're going to talk. It'll be funny doing that.
Literally talk about anything.
Yeah, we'll talk about all kinds. We're going to have like 8 million episodes of this podcast, man. We're going to be able to talk about all kinds of stuff.
8 million.
Yeah.
8 million. I'll count it. So, first question, that's the actual question, not just the introductory question. 3 biggest events that happened in our lives that made us the person we are today. They can be good, they can be bad. Hopefully we get some good as well as bad, not just bad. I know that there's a lot of good things that have made us the person we are. Yeah, so let's have Ricky. Why don't you go first?
Oh, okay. I think the first biggest event that ever happened to me was probably when I was younger. My dad had a stroke. I was always, I guess, in a way, it kind of shook me. Because I guess I never really thought about life or death or anything like that. So seeing someone really, really close to me, personally affected by, or someone that's on the brink of death, kind of really shook me that people die, I guess. So I guess growing up, I always wanted to build relationships with people, and I guess that kind of built that. It kind of defines my personality because I care more about relationships with people. So that's definitely one event in my life that's
yeah.
But yeah, I definitely say it's one of the things that
shaped you.
Yeah, shaped me. Probably another one is definitely basketball. I played, yeah, for sure basketball. I played basketball for I think about 9.5 years. So I've had a lot of memories with different people, and I don't know, it's helped me with just meeting people, I guess.
You know they say that after 10 years you become an expert in something. So you were almost at a point where you're considered an expert.
Technically, it's not 10 years. I actually talked about this with my art teacher, my junior year in high school. Mm-hmm. It's actually 20 years. You're considered a professional because that's the whole MBA. Once you pass 18, you're considered a professional. Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird to think about it, but yeah, definitely basketball is another big event for me. Because yeah, I don't know, it was just something that kind of got me through childhood, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just some fun.
It's integral to your life. You can't talk about this without that, Ricky.
Yeah. And then probably another one is just video games. I mean, I've played a lot of video games in my life, an absurd amount. I've been, especially, I don't know. I think when you think about video games, you don't only think about just people yelling at each other and whatnot. I think it's weird. It's super, super weird. I know, but I think video games is a lot more than just video games because you bond with people and you can literally just meet some complete stranger that lives across the United States of America. You could be best friends with them if you really wanted to. If you guys just click, it just takes one good game with that person. And I don't know. I think that definitely shapes who I am as well.
Do you remember in probably 2014, 2013, playing Destiny 1 until 3 a.m.
Oh yes,
Jacob and all them trying to climb up a tree?
Yes. It was so fun. Oh my gosh, you don't understand.
No, I have the one. That's one of my greatest memories of playing a video game. It's just, oh my god, that was so much fun.
Yeah, I think it's so funny because I feel like Destiny is not spoken enough because Destiny 1 was so iconic. I think it was so iconic.
It was.
But then they made Destiny 2 and it kind of just.
Well, Destiny 2 went down, but if you play it now,
it's all right. I am mad that they made Destiny 2 free because when I first got Destiny 2 it was $60. So I was exactly. Cool.
Yeah.
It's just because they botched Bungie totally destroyed their game.
It was more Activision's
fault,
actually. Once Activision
I forgot Activision worked on the same project. I forgot.
Yeah, when Activision got hands off and Bungie was able to do whatever they want, that's when people started playing. So
yeah,
shouts to Bungie. You can't speak on Bungie's name. They made Halo. They made
Destiny. Yeah, but Activision is a terrible company. Didn't they buy Blizzard?
I think so, or maybe Blizzard bought them.
I think they did a couple of years ago.
Yeah, they ruined so much stuff. It's just
all right, and then the second question for you, Ricky. Are we doing just one question for everyone, and then second question for everyone? Or are we doing both questions for each person?
I mean, it's up to you guys.
It's up to you.
I don't know.
Let's do one question, two question.
Okay.
So I'll go next. So 3 biggest things that shape me into who I am. First thing, which this is kind of dark, it'll get dark, happy, less dark. Was I was pretty badly bullied in elementary school, and that's because I was we can't tell from if you're seeing the video, but I have red hair. No, I'm not doing it right now. I'll show you guys in a different episode. I have red hair and I'm white, and I went to a school that was mostly Latin. I went to Adelante Spanish Immersion School, so I learned Spanish, which is awesome. But I also, what people didn't, I mean, it's when you're a weird ADHD white kid with red hair at all Latin school, you don't really, who's awkward and doesn't know things, you don't get away unscathed. So that kind of made me someone who's very, I was just reading about the 4 adult styles of attachment. I forget what one I'm called is, but I basically need reassurance constantly from partners and from relationships that I'm wanted, I'm needed, I'm cared about. I don't believe that by myself. So that was that. Second, which is really good, was meeting one of my best friends, Dylan Wright. Dylan is a man, dude. That dude has literally saved my life. And I met him summer going into freshman year, and he lived down the street from me, so we just would hang out all the time. We would chill, we would play video games sometimes, we would play soccer, we would do all kinds of stuff. And he was just a mentor and a big brother for me for years. And then he got evicted, and he was looking for a place to stay, so he moved into Luke's spot, which is kind of funny that he's on here. And then Luke, they needed more space, so he moved in with us. And then he went from being a big brother to kind of a best friend and just kind of like being on equal levels. And he lived with me for 2 years, actually. My room looks nice, and it's because he just moved out, which sounds really bad.
Sounds so bad.
I don't think that sounded the way you wanted it to.
No, it did not. So I miss him a lot, but we're still talking. But yeah, I live in a small bedroom that's meant for one person, so having 2 people in here was kind of crowded, especially because we had a bunch of stuff in here. So, he lived with me for 2.5 years, and probably 2.5 best years of my life, to be honest. So there's that. The final thing, which may sound sad, but there's, I don't know, some good in it, was finally, after 3 years of misdiagnoses, getting a bipolar diagnosis, which I am bipolar. Just putting that out there for anyone who doesn't know. And I don't know, it was really actually helpful, because it finally put a name to something that had been haunting me for years, and I just didn't know what to do about it. And we got the right treatment, and I've been stable, well, mostly stable for about a year now. That's not true, less than that, but it was really nice to finally be able to get the right diagnosis. So those are the 3 biggest things that shaped me. Pass it off to Victor.
Dang, I've had a lot of time to think about this. I feel like the first one, it's more of a thing than it is an event.
Yeah.
But I feel like growing up, I never really had video games or TV. Like I mentioned before, I think I got the Wii I don't know, maybe halfway through middle school or something, and I was wanting to play Mario Kart with my friends. So I was never glued to the television. We didn't have cable at all. I never had the phone growing up. Didn't have any technology basically. I was just living here at my house with any
Caveman,
without any of that. Yeah, basically. But I appreciated that, because a lot of my childhood was spent outside. I was able to, I don't know, go out ride my bike, go out play with my friends. I literally bike to their house and chill with them. So I feel a lot of that has helped me with some things academically. I feel I'm able to focus more, because I feel my attention span is able to focus on one thing for longer. But I also like kind of enjoyed having to like go out and like have fun for myself. And like not having to like spend years of my life just glued to a television or like playing video games. Like and I have nothing like wrong with any of that. Like I love playing video games when I'm at a friend's house, but I just kind of appreciated like having like that form of childhood. I feel like it like comes out in like aspects in like my current life, which I appreciate. Second thing, I feel like sports in general have like always been a big part of my life, but definitely cycling. I feel like it's like the best sport in the world, and I don't know what I would do without it because it's like I don't know, it's just so amazing. It's so freeing. Like my dad grew up. He grew up in Guatemala, but like there was a lot of like cycling and like all that was like really big over there. And then he carried it over when he moved over here, and like got into like Tour California and Tour de France and like all these other big races. And I like just kind of like grew up watching it, and like I've always had a bike my whole life. Like I remember hopping on a bike and I didn't need training wheels, and I was already just going around in laps.
Oh wow.
And so it's like always just like been a part of me, and like usually I go out for entertainment and enjoyment, but there's days where like if I like have a fight with my family or like I feel sad or just anxious and I need some space, I can always just like go out and just explore, like go wherever I want. I don't need gas or keys to drive this thing. It's free.
Yeah.
So definitely cycling. That's been like a huge part of my life since probably like 90% of it. I don't know. It's I love it. The other event in my life that's changed me into who I am today is a bit more. I feel like legitimate, a little bit more personal. So how do I start? I guess long story short, I feel like knowing who my like actual friends are is like very much appreciated. Because growing up, I went to elementary school with these two dudes who were there since like kindergarten. And I think I became best friends with them in like 5th grade. And I'd known them like all of elementary school though. And we continued our friendship maybe into like sophomore, like junior year of high school. And like they were like the love of my life. They, not to sound all like weird, but like I like had never vibed like better with two people, and it was weird because it was like 3 of us, and like we were like best friends. Like literally the whole school, like we're like, dang, they're like the chillest. Like we didn't have beef with anyone. We didn't have beef with like each other. We were like, I don't know, we were like so tight, and we like do some of the craziest things, and like just we'd have so much fun together. Like I like those days are like the glory days for me. Those are like when I look back to them, I'm like, dang, like, those were the days. But basically, like I forget when it was, like maybe summer of like sophomore year. Like without like diving too deep into it, like a lot of it falls on my shoulders. Like I'd give it like 90%. Like a lot of different things happened, like on both sides, obviously, like everything's like a two-way street, but I like messed up a ton and like hurt them in like a lot of different ways, and like was like too arrogant, and like to see how I was hurting them, and like slowly but surely it just like deteriorated our friendship. And like it was like too late, by the time I realized. When I like tried like apologizing and like talking to them, but they were like already fed up and like done with it. So long story short, I think it was like halfway through junior year, something like that, we like stopped being friends. And it was like crazy because like a lot of people were like, dang, I wouldn't have expected that to happen. Like there was like I think 2 weeks where I like sat on a bench like by myself because like I didn't have any like close friends. Like I like new people, but I didn't have any other close friends. And like us three had like built a friend group together, and like they, didn't want to hang with me either. So, that sucked. I remember even like crying the night before of our senior picture, which was like a year later, because I was like, we were always planning to like sit together, and now like I'd made new friends. Like I was gonna sit with them, but it was still just hard. Like looking back on that, so that definitely like it brought in like a fear of rejection, but it also I feel like brought in a lot of maturity because it was like, I have to like think through, what I'm doing and like figure out between like love and just like not. So like these guys for sure, like some of my best friends. But those childhood friends like always have a special place in my heart. And like I wish I could like be friends with them still like so much. Like literally every single day in my life, like I'm thinking about them, hoping for them, hoping that, their life is like amazing. But also hoping that, we can have a relationship again. So it definitely, helped me mature in my relationships, try to, figure out like just how to do things better. Life, comes and goes. So I guess it was just one of the like the down parts, but having them and then losing them was, bittersweet.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Victor. Appreciate the vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Lukey Pookie.
Oh gosh.
Take us home.
I think for sure like one of the most impactful things that like I don't even like remember a lot of, but like just I think it like for sure influenced like the direction of my life, if that makes sense. Was like when I was a kid, like I was like sick a lot. And like it turned out I just had like a lot of allergies and like pretty severe asthma.
Yeah.
But like the problem is that my parents didn't know. And so I would eat stuff that I was allergic to and then have like these massive allergic reactions. So I like as a baby was and like toddler, I was like in the emergency room like twice a month, like in an oxygen tank because I couldn't get like enough. Like my lungs literally weren't absorbing. My body wasn't taking in enough oxygen, so they'd have to put me in like a pure oxygen environment. And I feel like that definitely I feel like my parents like became very protective of me, which has been like both a good and bad thing. Like I feel like it has taught me like to be cautious myself, like I feel like I've learned like sometimes that's not been a good thing. Like sometimes I'm overly cautious or I'm like too worried, but I do feel like at other times like it does help me like have an instinct for like when I shouldn't do something or like when I need to focus on something else, which I feel like has been good. And I feel like also like it's like that love from my parents, like that's one of the main parts of that I feel like is like, and my family just in general and friends has like really influenced me, like just from the start, how like my family and friends, like even just growing up like as a kid, when friends like who barely knew anything about like any of that because we moved, but like they were like there and like still cared and like were willing to stop me from like doing something dumb, so I feel like that was like a really cool, like that's really shaped me into like also like somebody who like I think trusts people. I think it takes a bit, like I'm very insecure too, but I think I trust people more. And then I think for sure when I was in it's not like a specific event or moment, but I guess we haven't stuck to that anyway, so it's like but like I feel like with like when I was in elementary school and middle school, mainly middle school, somebody really close to me went through like a lot of mental health challenges, and like basically like just had like a lot of struggles and like things happen, like it came out that they had bipolar and borderline personality disorder, and I feel like that like definitely just had an impact on me. Like I feel like I became more reclusive. Like I feel like it's had a positive impact once I like learned from it, but I feel like at first like it had a negative impact because I was just like, instead of dealing with it, like as a kid, I just decided to withdraw and like watch a lot of Netflix and like hide in my room, like hide from the world, you know? But I feel like that's like had a major impact on me because I feel like I like, that was sort of like a reality check that there's a lot more deep and like dark stuff in the world than like we think there is like every day, you know?
Yeah.
And like you don't know what everybody's going through like based on like what they seem like on the outside, because they may like be a really nice person and they may like have like whatever, like a good job or like doing well in school, but like you don't really know what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that also like taught me the value of like going deeper with people, you know, like and understanding that not everything is like what it seems on the surface. So like learning how to not judge a book by its cover. And then I feel like third, man, that's actually kind of hard. I feel like third would be like, my, I had like a friend in high school, sort of like your friend, Wesley Dylan. Well, we all know Dylan, but so our friend, but like, you know, he was closest to you, but like for me, it was like this guy named Vince.
Vince
like,
Prince.
but like he like, I don't know, like he like started like hanging out with me in like sophomore year of high school, and that was just a really bad year for me because I was like refused to take school seriously, like tried to push like anybody away who like tried to go deep with me or like figure out what was going on, because I was like not doing my schoolwork, not trying to like, like I was just trying to like keep up like this image of like I'm doing fine when really like things were not going well. And it took a long time. It actually took me basically getting, not rejected, that's not the right word, but like just doing terrible in robotics and like losing at like out on our team, for me to like understand what he was trying to tell me, which was like it's okay to like be a mess and it's okay to like be honest, like the importance of that. Like it's not
okay to be a mess. That's a lesson learned. That's a lesson for this podcast. It's okay to be a mess, people.
Okay,
especially if you're a guy. People don't think it's okay to be a mess if you're a guy. It's okay. Be a mess.
Yeah, and like I feel like he was like willing to like have that tough love with me that was like told me the things I needed to hear, you know, which I think is the reason it's okay to be a mess, is because you usually need to be told something or like somebody else could like help you. And when we refuse to be one, like you can't really like have somebody tell you the truth because they don't know, you know. But I feel like that was like the importance he taught me, is like once you actually let down and be honest, you can actually get that help. Like it's not always going to be like pleasant, and it's usually not going to be pleasant because you're a mess, right? So you gotta admit that you're a mess first to yourself and other people. But like once you do that, like it instantly becomes easier because you're able to be yourself around like everybody else, and you're able to stop like pretending to be somebody you're not, and like able to get the help that you need. And I feel like because of that, like he kind of became my big brother in that way, of like somebody who like was willing to tell me the things that I needed to hear, whether I was going to like them or not. And was willing to show me like that I didn't need to like hide from the world, and I didn't need to like constantly put up like an image and like for other people. Like I could be the person that I actually was, like on the inside. But yeah, I mean, I feel like those are like my biggest like events.
Cool. Now that we got some heavy stuff out the way, you guys kind of know us a little better now. That was kind of intense, but it's all good because this is gonna be a podcast that's gonna be good and bad, and you know we're gonna reconcile with both. We got one more question before we close out here. It's what is one thing about you, Ricky, me, Luke, Victor? What is one thing that that the other three doesn't know about you? And it's gonna be difficult because we know each other pretty well, so this may be difficult to actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this one.
Yeah, I haven't thought about this question.
I think I got it, but you guys are probably gonna know it. So anyway, but
you can go, and then I'm just wait, Ricky, do you have one?
No.
Okay, so Wesley, you go, and then we'll figure it out.
So, see, I got a couple. So I think Luke and Victor know, because I think I've told this story before, but Ricky probably doesn't know this. So in middle school, there's this dude named Dominic, and Dominic and I are homies now. He's a cool dude, but he was kind of so I was a black sheep in elementary school. He was a black sheep in elementary and middle school and parts of high school. But in elementary or middle school, we got into a fight and he was throwing punches and whatever, and I was kind of taking it. I was like, whatever. So then he went to his locker because then it was during PE class, and I shoved his head in the locker and slammed the door shut on his head. And he got like, oh. So, yeah, that was like the one. I've been in 2 fights, I think, maybe more than that, but 2 that I remember since elementary school, and that was one of them where I slammed the guy's head in the locker. So I don't know if you guys did that one, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Victor knows that one.
That's crazy. That's awesome. That's pretty cool.
So cool, man. So cool. I love violence. I love violence.
I don't know. Okay, I have one, but I don't know if you guys know. But I was in 5th grade, and this was probably like 2 months into 5th grade. I got suspended.
Ooh, for what?
I got suspended for lighting things on fire.
Nice. Oh, that must be catching something else after you. I got some things.
Yeah,
That's
it was funny. It was actually funny because I was lighting things at this old elementary school, White Oaks Elementary School or whatever. It's a little thing, and like I've had like jackets or like toilet paper rolls, and I'd literally just light them on fire. It's like, I don't know. I was in 5th grade, so like fire was interesting to me. It's like when I was doing that, it's funny because one of the English teachers that was at my school drove past the elementary school and saw me doing it. So then that following, I think it was Monday or Tuesday or something, I got called into the office and they asked me if I did. And I was like, obviously denying it. Then like the English teacher came in and was like, I saw you doing it. I was like, oh, okay. I guess you got me now. So yeah, I got suspended for about like 5 days.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's definitely, I don't know if you guys knew that, but that's definitely one for me.
I did not know that.
No, yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Lighting things on fire, the pyro, Ricky.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I was super interested in like fire and whatnot. It was a weird phase. Middle school.
I don't think I've ever done that at school. I probably did it like at home at some point.
We had something similar in middle school for my friend Lucas's house, at his old house we were at down the street. We had a club where you had to light a lemon on fire in his backyard and eat the lemon.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like, it was, I don't know what the club was even called, but they just like, you just light a lemon on fire and then eat it. And it was just,
I don't know why I'm thinking,
it,
but like,
it wasn't even
since
big.
you mentioned lemons, I remember like reading something that like apparently if you get like an orange peel and you squeeze the orange peel, not the orange, but just the peel of the orange near like a balloon, it pops the balloon because of the citrus acid that's inside the orange. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I just thought it. Yeah.
Anyway, Luke and Victor, you guys got anything?
No.
I don't know how much I've told this like story, so I feel like you guys might not know it, but I could be wrong. I think Victor might know it, but basically, I guess it's not like really that interesting, but in middle school, I liked this one girl, and I thought that I basically was, one, I was afraid of having a girlfriend because I thought my mom would kill me, but two,
that's what's up.
Which I think she would, but not right now, but like, and then two, I knew my other friend liked her, and so basically my only goal was to get her to like me, not date, but get her to like me, so that way she didn't go out with him, because I was I cannot have him and her dating. I just won't be able to handle it.
Oh snap!
That didn't work, and then they started dating anyway. So then I was like,
you hate to see it.
All right, I'm just gonna, drive a wedge whenever I get a shot. So for like all of like 8th grade, like there wasn't like anything that I can remember that was like major, like, oh, like me directly trying to like, you know what I mean? Like there's no like massive like, oh, like that happened. But I would say like there were for sure like a couple. One time we did like a reading competition in class. I don't know why. I don't know how we got there, but it was like, who can read fastest? And I was like, I can. And then because I knew I knew the other guy, he's like a smart dude. But like, and we're like good friends now, but I knew he would say he could. So I was like, no, I can do it. And then like pretended to read really, really fast while just like picking out random words. So like I pretended like, basically I didn't read like hardly 90% of that page. I just picked out like one sentence and was like, that happens. And then because the girl was, anyway, the point,
he cheated the system.
So
I like that.
Anyway, I wish I could say I even like, actually I don't wish I could say I succeeded. That's bad. I don't want to, but but I mean they did end up breaking up, but that was because she like was gonna move back to Chicago.
Chirac?
Well, now she knows.
Was it Chicago?
If she ever sees this podcast, she
It
knows
don't matter
exactly.
That's fine. I don't think it'll
Whatever.
matter.
I've moved on.
But yeah.
All right, Victor, you're up.
Oh gosh. I literally have been trying to think, but I just get sucked into your guys' story that I forget to think. Something that you guys don't know about. I don't know.
It can be something about your family too. How about that? It can be something about your family.
He's probably slept more than he's lived.
Probably.
Whoa, gosh.
About my family. Dang, I feel like anything I'm gonna say is just gonna be dumb.
Well, say something.
Just say
It's
it.
okay.
It's fine. That's the whole point of
confessed
the
his feelings about a
podcast.
girl he had. I talked about fire.
He talked about Ricky talked about lighting stuff on fire.
Exactly.
Wesley slammed the dude's head in a locker. I don't think either of these stories is less dumb
It
than
doesn't matter.
anything you
Say
could spit
something.
out.
Well, like a different type of dumb. Like my initial thought was like, I was gonna say.
I forgot to say,
Chungus.
shouts to
Like the
Dominic,
number
by the
of-
way, for being a homie. But I forgot to say, I wanted to shout him out because I felt bad. I feel like you probably watch this episode and be like, yo, what the hell? He said he beat me up and he didn't say nothing else. So shouts to Dominic, you're the man. I just had to bring up that story.
Oh gosh. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna say something that's like pretty obvious, and I feel like no, actually, you guys, I feel like know this about me, but I don't care. So in like junior, senior year of high school, like I like made a new friend group, and it was like all guys. My older friend group was like a mix of like guys
This
and
is
girls.
not gonna go out
so it
well.
was,
Like
like
good.
a good balance, because not only could we like talk and like vibe together, but like we weren't like super crazy. But with the new friend group, it was like all guys. They were all like just, I don't even know how to describe it, just crazy, just on another level. And they all like sat in like very remote parts of the high school. So one of the places we would sit at is like on the football field, and like there was like no one else there, and there was like this little like ramp thing that like would lead to the bleachers, but like it was like kind of tall, and so the floor was like over here, so it was just a massive wall basically. Maybe like 50 feet by like 10-15 feet, and literally every day of lunch we would just feed the wall, and literally any food, any liquid we had that we brought or that we could find was literally thrown at this wall. And we ended up having pumpkins.
Pumpkins?
We had
Yeah.
we had milk, literally anything, bananas, grapes, oranges, waters. We'd fill like plastic bags up and like chuck it. Yogurt was the worst. Avocado.
God.
Just like countless amount of things. And then by the time we like finished that year, there was like all these like black and moldy spots on the wall.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
But that was like the pinnacle of like being a high school guy that didn't have a brain, basically.
That did have a brain. Shots to the wall.
We were
Shots
just
to the wall.
going crazy. Yeah, we'd feed the wall every day.
I thought you were gonna say like that tests that I'm not gonna say because I don't want to like expose you in case you don't want to share it. But that beautiful test that you had.
I could share that test as well. Yeah, I feel like only Luke knows that story. I know
because it's such a good story.
Share it.
But
Let's hear it.
in my senior year, I took multivariable calculus, which is like I think a step above BC, and that was like the last math that they offered. And so I'm like gifted or like good at math, but like it's
he said, I'm gifted in there quotes, I'm gifted or good at math or whatever. I'm like, boy.
He's like, I'm taking multivariable, but I guess I'm gifted. Like,
I'm gifted
maybe,
or whatever.
maybe.
That's hilarious.
Like,
well, you gotta understand that my view is kind of skewed because not only did I not try and get really frustrated at math and didn't like it at all, but I was literally the dumbest kid in my class. Like, no joke. There was 2 periods worth of multi. I was in the second one, and I was literally the dumbest kid. Because at the end of the year, they were like, the teacher asked all of us, which I feel like was kind of offensive, but he asked all of us to name which college we were going to. Literally, like, 99% of the people in the class, in both classes, was like Stanford, Yale, Harvard, like all these like top tier schools. Like literally, all 4 of the people who went to Stanford from my school were in my class. And I was the only person who said a community college.
Shouts to Foothill.
And I was just like,
let's go
bruh.
Foothill. Better than Stanford.
And so like, I think it was like first semester, I forget which test it was on. It's probably something hard. Thing is, I also didn't study and didn't do any homework assignment. I'd always copy off with my friends. I ended up passing the class with like a C, or no, C in one and B in the other semester. But on this one test, I got really frustrated, answered one question, didn't answer the rest of it. And the scoring system was weird because it was like 6 questions, and each question was worth like 90, 100 points. So it was like, if you get one wrong, you're like losing like a whole letter and a half. So I basically answered one question, didn't do the rest of it, and ended up getting an 11% on the test. My grade dropped to like a 50%, but I ended up bringing it back up to like a B, and the whole class was impressed. So
yeah, shouts to you.
I kind of pranked the rest of my class. It was
shouts to Victor in the test, man.
Yeah.
That test always makes me laugh because
I
you
think
had
I called Luke right after and was just laughing so hard.
Yeah, you literally were dying, and I was like, "Oh, something really funny must have happened." You were like, "Well, something happened," and then you're like, "Yeah, I literally just did one question and then turned it in." I was like, "Bruh."
So I knew the wall. I did not know that test thing, Victor. So that was
yeah. There you go.
It's a good story. I like
Luke helped me out.
It's such a funny story. I literally was like, dude, you're so stupid. I was like, because it wasn't the fact that he was in, because I can't like talk smack when it comes to math. Like, I'm just not good at, like, once I get it. But like, if I don't understand it, I get very frustrated very easily, and so I'll just quit. But like, so I can't like tell somebody they're dumb or like stupid at it, because I know for a fact that I am. But he calls me and I was like, bruh, I'm in pre-calc and I can still certifiably say that was the stupidest thing you could have done in your life. I was like, you did one question and walked out of here. You had all the time in the world to finish it, and you did it.
Yeah. All right, that's about going to wrap it up. This has been the Guy Thoughts Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode. I know it was a little rough, but we're hoping to define it and get it down to the best moments. So, Victor?
If we don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
All right, people.
Peace.
Peace.